because I'm happy to answer questions that I'm hopefully able to answer. But let's go. Let's start.
Okay, so firstly, thank you everyone for attending. It's really exciting to firstly have you all here, especially you, Terri, because these are all your Synergie users, not all of them, but ones that are very precious to me, and they're beautiful clients. And I think the best way to start is actually if everyone introduces themselves and even tells them their favorite Synergie product. So shall we start with Susan?
Hello, Terri. Very pleased to meet you.
Hi, Susan. Lovely to meet you too.
I'm from Adelaide, so I only see Marisa when I come over to Sydney, which has not happened in the last year.
Yes, I can imagine. Well, I'm originally a South Australian girl too, so that's lovely.
You are?
Yes.
Are you? Yes. You don't have any stockists here, though, do you?
Oh, yes.
Do you?
Don't we, Nikki?
Oh, well, I won't forsake Terri. I mean, I won't forsake Marisa.
Sorry, Marisa, we shouldn't tread on your toes. But anyway,
no, I'm more than happy.
No, I won't forsake you because Marisa does a great service. Which is the best Synergie product? That is really hard. I think the Eyes Day is excellent. I think my eyes have totally stabilised since I've been using that. And I really like Reclaim too. I think that's a great night cream.
That's my favourite moisturiser too, Susan. I actually use that every day. And Improvised Day, it's such a game changer. We've had so many amazing before and after photos from clients, haven't we, Nikki? About the results with dark circles, eye bags and fine lines with Improvised Day. So thanks for that.
Good.
Okay. Yeah. So Cheryl, you are up.
Hello. Hi, Terri. It's lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too.
And thank you for the book. I really enjoyed it. It was great.
Oh, good.
I'm actually from Bellevue Hill. I see Marisa on a regular basis. Have been probably for the last 6 years. Started using Synergie and then wanted to find someone that could do a Synergie facial. And so that's where Marisa came into my life, and been there ever since. I have 3 daughters, 2 of which Marisa clients as well, and Synergie customers as well. So that's great. Probably my favourite, I love my morning moisturisers. I've got a mental blank.
Uberzinc?
Yes, thank you. Yes. My Uberzinc, and also the Masquerade.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's so popular. We're going to have a little bit of a chat about that later. Yeah, everybody, we all need zinc oxide in our morning, whether it's our Uberzinc or our mineral makeup. It's a must-have for me too.
And I love the Masquerade, so I'm quite keen to try the new mask product to see how that goes.
Very, very different. Just with the zinc oxide, let you into a little bit of a home lab secret. It was one of the most difficult products to formulate because zinc oxide is a little bit fussy to work with, especially using oils and water. So you'll find a lot of those ones you'd find in shops and supermarkets with zinc oxide. They're very thick and very heavy. And what my aim was with Uberzinc was to make a really beautiful, luxurious, elegant moisturiser, but with a high level of sun protection of 21% zinc oxide. It took me a long time to nail that formula, and I think getting the elegance was so important to consumers, and that's why it's one of my biggest sellers. So thanks for loving that one, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Deanne.
Hi, Terri.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Meet you.
I'm just in awe of the products that you do. I've tried cosmeceuticals in the past and had terrible reactions because I have extremely reactive and sensitive skin. And lovely Marisa came into my life at a very important time for me, and was able to introduce me to how to put your products together and actually to reduce that sensitivity and reduce that reaction. And so I just think that your products are amazing for that reason, because you actually can use a cosmeceutical, get the benefits, but at the same time also heal your skin.
Oh, look, that's music to my ears, because it is your stories that make me get up in the morning. It's not just about creating ingredients that have the data to support it. It's about the real people that get the results. And obviously it's not only reduced your sensitivity, but you probably feel good about yourself too. And that's why I do what I do, to make women and men, because we've got some males doing it too, feel great about themselves. So thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
Can I just add, you all have really beautiful skin as well. So
yes, hats off to you ladies. Thank you.
On to Rose.
Hi Terri, nice to meet you.
Hi Rose.
I've been working at Time Out Beauty for about 2 years now. So before I started, I had a very impaired barrier and had a lot of redness on my cheeks, and I just assumed that was just part of my skin. It was just something I had to deal with for the rest of my life. And obviously Marisa gave me my first facial here, and it was amazing. And I started off with the anti-redness kit, so that's changed my life. So I'd have to say my favourite Synergie brand would have to be vitamin B, because I had a very impaired barrier, especially on my cheek area. And that's been my saviour. I've definitely come a long way with my skin, so very happy. And probably BB Flawless. I have to choose two, BB Flawless and vitamin B.
Oh, that's a really popular foundation too. And I know we've still got one more lovely lady, Gabby, to go. But I also have to thank Marisa, because Marisa works alongside Synergie. And you know what? I always say with my team, it's not just me. I've got the wonderful Nikki, I've got Holly, I've got my general manager in my team, but also I'm a team with Marisa, I'm a team with Time Out, and I'm a team with you. So unless you actually use the products correctly, and unless you work with Marisa to get the best results, the products won't do what they're supposed to do. So thank you all. And I know, I just had to add that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now on to Gabby.
I'll just unmute. Can you hear me? Hi, Terri.
Hi, Gabby.
Hi, nice to meet you. I also work with Marisa. I've been there nearly 4 years. So before that, I had no idea about Synergie, and it really has changed my skin. I had a bit of sensitivity in this area, and Dermacalm's I'm scared not to use it now. So I love that. The smell, everything about it, it's wonderful. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Isn't it interesting? So many people, and even more so since COVID, we've had such an increase in sensitivity and irritation in the skin and impaired barrier. And I think that's even been exacerbated by mask wearing, by the stress. And I know this wasn't one of the questions, but I wanted to let you know that it's very, very normal to be experiencing irritation and sensitivity now, even if you haven't been before, because of the hormone cortisol. And during this time when we're concerned about, have uncertainty, concerned about what's happening, our cortisol levels increase, and that has a direct impact on the barrier of our skin. And we end up having impaired barrier function and sensitivity. So that's all very normal. So vitamin B and Dermiotic are really your two best friends, and obviously Dermacalm too. So thank you so much for sharing your stories. And I'm actually flattered and humbled to be able to help you all.
And we have the beautiful Nikki, who is our beautiful business development manager, who really helps my team as well. With understanding the best way to actually apply the Synergie products, and with the knowledge that they now have, we are able to always, not just me, but themselves, advise the clients correctly of how to use the product. So thank you, Nikki. I suppose my favourite product, I've got a few, so it's really hard to tell you which one it is. I love the Supremacy Plus. Really find that's very brightening on my skin, but for some reason my skin just feels much plumper, and also my breakouts don't seem as bad with it. So I really do like that product, and also the BB Flawless, which I love. It's my go-to product.
Fantastic. And we've also cosmeceutical or the makeup that I create, I don't just create it to look good. It has to have a function, and that's why I like to call my makeup intelligent makeup. Even to the, I have vegetable liposomes in the makeup, so when you buff it into your skin, it releases emollients into the skin, so you get a time release hydration throughout the day. Obviously, the BB Flawless has your vitamin B in it. So everything I do, and the iron oxides are your blue light protection. So I don't just to create it to look good. It's created to be a protection. It's created to have a function and be smart.
Yeah, exactly. So Terri, I just wanted, firstly, happy International Women's Day. And we're so lucky to have you speaking today. Now, I thought we'd just go back and talk about us and where we first met. And I just want to talk to everyone and explain to them what an amazing educator you are, as well as a formulator too. So we first met when at the Beauty Expo. I don't know if you remember that. I was with my friend Debbie, and I just came from England. I was here for about a year. I actually had never really entered the cosmeceutical world. I had no idea. Well, I knew about beauty products, but not products that actually can convert the skin and really create that change in someone's skin. When I met you, I had a lot of breakouts on my forehead, and I wanted to find a mineral makeup, and you were there and you applied it for me, and you were like, oh, why? I said, I've got some congestion. He said, yeah, I can see. You need to change your shampoo. And you told me that it has to be one without sulfate, one without perfume, colouring. And I said, but I use a really good salon one. And you're like, you need to change your shampoo. And so I did. And I used the Synergie Minerals. I walked away with the travel pack and the congestion went. So I was like, wow, from that point on. So that, I think, was the first step of your education to me. And no one else had ever told me that in the past. I know it seems simple, but it's those simple things that we're not, not everyone can just put their finger on it, I suppose. And then after that, so we've had Synergie now. We had for 11 years, and we started with the Synergie Minerals brand. And then we moved on to the Synergie Skin. And that's when you actually educated me personally in a lot of cases of why it's so important to use the cosmeceuticals in the correct way, how it then should be delivered properly. When you give me the information, it actually it sticks in my head. I'm a very visual learner. I'm not someone that, I don't need all the scientific jargon or the long names. I just need to know what the product does, the functionality of the product. And you did that so well, Terri. Basically, now as a skin therapist, I have the power to change someone's skin and give them skin confidence. And that's because of your products. So I do a lot of Synergie facials. I talk a lot to people about your products, people that actually, they have a problem and I can't even see them, like for instance, Susan, she's from afar, she's in a different state. I'm still able to educate her, which is great. And I have the confidence in Synergie that they're going to be able to create that positive change and give someone that boost in their skin. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. What I think is also amazing is that you actually wrote the book Skinformation, and which is so good because everything that I have experienced now can be filtered out to the rest of the world through your education. And just the way you write the book, it seems like you're actually one of our friends. I mean, you are, but to everybody else, you talk about skincare and nut out what's good, what you should be using, what you shouldn't be using. The beauty industry is huge. It's so vast, and it gets confusing for us therapists, let alone the general public, of what they should be using. And the way you describe the information in the book is just amazing, because you use amazing analogies. And the analogies is what sticks with me.
Thank you Marisa, thank you so much. Yeah, look, the book was really, really important to me. I think I couldn't not write it. It was simmering away in my brain for a couple of years. And I'd been writing blogs for years. I had written another book more for clinics, which was a compilation of my articles I'd submitted to industry. But I had to completely change my mindset because I wanted to use those analogies that you talk about and become more accessible. What frustrated me was the lack of open, transparent information that was available to consumers. And I wanted to make that accessible, but in bite-size, easy to understand information. And I don't believe, my background actually, before I became a formulator, I was a senior science teacher. So education is paramount to me. So I needed to be able to educate, not in a detailed scientific way, but in a really simple, easy to understand way. The other thing that was really important to me in the book was not to talk about Synergie, because the book is a standalone educational tool for everybody. Even my competitors would proudly buy my book and give it to their clients because it's about skin, it's about ingredients, it's about what's in your bathroom cabinet. And it took me 9 months to write the book, and I'm a bit of once I get committed to it, I commit to something 110%. So just a little bit of background. I knew that a non-fiction book, I asked somebody how many words in the average non-fiction book, and I got the answer at 60,000. So I thought, okay, 60,000 words divided by how many days I want to give myself to write this book, and it was 9 months. How many words a day? Giving myself 1 day off a week. And it was 333 words a day. So I knew that I had to write a minimum of that to finish my book. Some days I would be inspired and I couldn't stop and I'd write 900 words. I thought, oh, great, I've got 2 days off. And the other thing I did with my team, and Nikki and Holly know this, is I asked them respectfully to give me a couple of hours off each morning so I could write and I wouldn't have the distractions, because as you can imagine, I don't just formulate. I'm the managing director of my company, so I've got 100, my head has to be in 100 places every day. And I needed to focus, and they were wonderful. So this is what I mean by a team effort. I was given that gift of time by my team to finish it, and I'm really proud that I did. I'm really proud that I've made an accessible information source to the community, to women and men, and I hope that if it makes a difference to anybody in any small way, then I've achieved what I set out to do.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, definitely. You definitely made an impact. Not just to us therapists, because it's really good for us to actually transfer the information to our clients. But now when clients ask about certain questions about their skin, we have the confirmation from the book. It's like, read the book and it will explain everything to you, and you'll get it. You'll get why you have to apply the vitamin B serum before your moisturizer, for instance.
And I know that you love analogies. I think everybody does. I just find it, comparing something, for example, if we say a protein is a pearl necklace, a peptide is a few pearls. So we now know that that's a small piece of protein. If we say a basketball team, you've got your A team. So that's your vitamin A, B, C, and your zinc oxide. And then you've got the team that are sitting on the bench ready to go on. And they're your accessory ingredients and accessory products, like your Dermacalm if you need it, acne products for fine lines. So everybody needs A, B, C, zinc oxide, but not everybody needs the Dermacalm, or not everybody needs Reclaim. So they're sitting on the side ready to go on for the person that needs that product. So yeah, I love my analogies.
Your analogies are best. I have to just give you a few of them, my favorites, if you don't mind. So the best one is, my favorite is when you're talking about collagen going into the skin and how it's like a big basketball entering a mailbox. It just doesn't happen. It can't work. It can't penetrate into skin, and collagen products will not give you collagen. And I love that analogy, because that is what I've been trying to tell some of my clients, and that's the best analogy that
The amount of money spent on collagen products for skin and collagen products that we take internally is shameful, in my opinion, as a scientist. Absolutely shameful.
And and I suppose my other one is when you talk about cleansing and how vital cleansing is, and you wouldn't paint a door if you didn't sand it down first. And I think that is also an amazing analogy. So
they just come out of my head. Sometimes I don't even know I'm going to say them, but I think of a comparison in my head and I'll just say it. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Now, I think everyone's got some good questions. So who wants to be the first one to ask Terri a question? Come on, don't be shy.
I'll go first. So my question, Terri, is if you were stuck on a desert island and you could only have one product with you, what product would that be?
That's easy. Vitamin B serum. Absolutely. And it's happened to me. I have been stuck without it and I've got my team to send it to me. Cannot do without that product. It is the multitasker. It is the product that if somebody says, if I was to try one product, what should I try first? I am so confident that it will transform the skin within about 2 weeks, which is unusual because it normally takes at least 30 days for a skin cell cycle. But because B3 stimulates our own body's ceramides, which are really important lipids in the top of our skin, and those lipids are responsible for holding moisture in, you get this beautiful luminosity because it starts stimulating those ceramides very, very quickly. And I remember when I first started my clinic way back in the early 2000s, people would come to me after using my vitamin B serum and say, what is this stuff? My skin has changed in less than 2 weeks. So hands down, vitamin B3.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
I'd like to ask a question, Terri, just talking about collagen. What's the best way to get collagen into the skin and what products would you use for collagen?
Okay, so firstly, you need ingredients that are small enough to get into the skin to get to the cells that make collagen. And those cells are present in where at the deeper layers of our skin called the dermis. And in the dermis are these little factories that make collagen. They also make elastin and hyaluronic acid, but we're talking about collagen. And these cells are called fibroblasts. So what you need to do is tell those fibroblasts to do their job and make more collagen. Now, vitamin A does that, certain retinoids. Vitamin B actually stimulates collagen. These all do it in different ways, by the way. L-ascorbic acid, vitamin C, and various peptides that have been curated in the laboratory. So the best way of getting collagen in our skin is to get small molecules to get to the target and tell the cells that make collagen to do their job. The second way of getting collagen into our bodies and indirectly through our bloodstream to genetically give the body the amino acids it needs to make collagen is by eating good protein sources. And I would recommend organic fish, organic seafood, organic chicken and any meat that has a high protein source. Collagen that you eat doesn't become collagen on the other side of the small intestine when it's absorbed. But what collagen is made up of many amino acids that are put together in a very specific way. And those amino acids come from good protein sources in your diet. I hope I've answered that. Good.
Terri, I have a question, please.
Yep.
Can you explain to me the process that the benefits and how masks benefit our skin? You spoke about mask arrays, which I have used, and I think you, maybe Marisa spoke about another one.
Oh yeah, Hydration B. Look, masks actually are a beautiful, nurturing way of delivering active ingredients into the skin, and they create a sort of a semi-barrier to hold those ingredients in more effectively. And mask arrays, for example, has different ingredients to Hydration B. Hydration B is my new mask, and that's a way of intensely hydrating the skin on 3 levels. It actually acts as a water magnet to draw moisture in. It also balances water and it gets very deep into the skin to tell the skin to make its own hyaluronic acid. So that's, for example, the Hydration B mask. It's a very intense hydrator. Mask arrays, on the other hand, has a lot of emollients, and those beautiful nurturing oils prevent the loss of water from the skin very, very differently to how Hydration B works. And also Masquerade has the addition of a marine ingredient, and that actually helps our skin create its own epidermal skin stem cells, and that helps to repair and rebuild our skin from within. So yeah, so they're very, very different products.
As you mentioned earlier, Terri, a lot of people are suffering from impaired barrier due to stress and COVID and mask wearing. So, you know, the new hydration mask fits perfectly in really trying to rehydrate and replenish barrier. So Absolutely. It's a great addition to Synergie, great addition to our lineup.
Thanks, Nikki. Yeah, I could see a great need for that. Everybody was saying their skin was dry and their barrier was impaired. So it was something I needed to do for the market. Marisa, you're on mute. I think we need to unmute you, keep going with questions.
Okay, so Deanne, do you want to?
Yeah, I'm really keen to know what gave you the confidence. You said that before that you were a science teacher, and then to launch into your own business. Obviously, you've got an amazing knowledge and skills, but what gave you the confidence to actually open the business and you know, run that gauntlet?
Confidence is an interesting thing. Look, sometimes I was thinking, what the hell am I doing? I'll be honest with you. I mean, the first day in my clinic when no clients came and I was sitting in a window looking out at a train station and nobody came in, I completely doubted myself. And then the first client came and then it followed, and I'm sure Marisa will relate to this. You end up getting a name, and the products had a real cult following in Melbourne very, very quickly. So everybody knew about this new skin format. Actually, the clinic was called Skinformation. That's the book pays homage to that. So people started coming. But a couple of things, and I'll tell you some personal information. I had to step up in the family because the financial situation wasn't great, and I knew that I had to do something. I had a little bit of money saved, and I opened up my clinic with that. And there were some doubting Thomases who didn't think I could make it. And when you tell somebody who's determined that they can't do it, guess what happens? So the clinic was a success. The products were even more of a success. And when the recession, the global financial crisis hit, people stopped having hair removal treatments. The cheaper hair removal machines were very popular. People couldn't afford to have injectables. And I remember a couple of messages from my clients saying, I can't afford your treatments, but I can't afford not to have your products. And that was a light bulb moment for me. It's like, well, I've got a clinic. I'm not a qualified beauty therapist, first to admit. I'm a scientist, I'm a formulator. I've created this range, and we're in a recession. So the minute I made the decision to give away my database to the local beauty therapist, who was a friend of mine, to sell my hair reduction machine, my injecting nurse ended up going out on her own and has a very successful business now, and we still know each other. And I moved to a laboratory situation in Burwood and started just formulating skincare, and that was the best decision I'd made. And also a friend of mine in Queensland gave me the confidence to sell to her clinic, a girlfriend of mine, Lisa Price, and if it wasn't for Lisa, I wouldn't have had the confidence to take the skincare range outside of my little Skinformation. And it's a combination of factors. I think also being a woman, knowing what women need, being a mother, wanting to do the right thing for my children's skin, and I couldn't get what I wanted. Basically, there was nothing out there. I knew what I had to make. So you know what? I made it myself. So it's a kind of a combination of factors.
That's really amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's actually really lovely to hear the determination that you know, especially during the GFC, that was a hard time for a lot of people in business.
We can all relate to that. So, yeah.
Okay, so on to Gabby.
Okay, Terri, I was going to ask you what made you write the book, but you've already answered that question when you first spoke about it. So I was going to say, is there anything in the pipeline that we will be seeing in the near future?
Oh, well, in terms of formulations, most
yes,
Gabby, I've got. I drive my team mad because it's. I'm always in. Nikki knows a couple of things. We've got some very exciting things happening this year,
yes.
But because we've got an ISO accredited lab, I can't just release something because I've developed it. So I've developed a few products already, and we need to put them into stability testing and go through all the right processes to enable us to take it to the market. But yes, there are some exciting.
So the range will be growing.
The range will most definitely be growing. And the other thing that I do like to do, Gabby, is if there is a new ingredient on the market and I do my due diligence and I look at the data, if I don't create a product for the sake of it. So what I'll do is I'll either see a need in the market to create a whole new product, or I will incorporate an amazing ingredient in an existing product. And the upgrade is almost worthy of a launch because it'll be an amazing ingredient. So there's a couple of things I'm doing. I'll be doing relaunches and I'll be doing new products.
Fantastic. Great. Thank you.
Well, that's great. I've got one question about the Skinformation book. Would you ever consider making it an audio book?
Well, we've already talked about that, absolutely, and I'm currently in negotiations with Wiley about doing that. Incidentally, I have to audition if it becomes an audio book, because apparently the author doesn't necessarily get the gig. I'd like to be the person that does it, but we need to know it translates really well to audio, and because there's a lot of visuals in it, we need to figure out how that's going to translate. But yeah, I would love to do that. It's on an ebook now as well, so we're doing the audio.
I think it's just I hear a lot of ladies saying that, well, people saying that they are too tired to read or they're so busy. So
I love audio books. Absolutely.
Yeah. So having it in the car while you're driving along and listening to all this amazing information would be really great.
Well, I just love podcasts, and I find in the car my go-to, and when I'm running, my go-to is a podcast and audiobooks. So I'm with you, Marisa. I just need to refine the discussion with Wiley.
Yeah. Well, Terri, thank you so much. You've really given us a really good insight into why you wrote the book, and also telling us a bit about Synergie, more about Synergie, what we want to know. Loving the new hydration, by the way. It sold out. We got it and it sold out in one day. It was amazing.
Wow, okay. See, yeah. I love that. I mean, it's funny when I invented, I think, I think this will be really good, but you actually don't know until it reaches the shelves how it will be received. So that's fantastic. It definitely works. We just need to get the message out there. So thank you for that.
Well, I think the reason why it works so well compared to many other markets, and this is where you're very different, you actually go that extra mile with your products. You don't just formulate a product for the sake of it, like you just said before. But what I loved about the hydration is it's not just a hyaluronic acid mask, which is, there's so many out there. You've actually used the ingredient isomerate. I hope I pronounce saccharide isomerate. I hope I pronounced that properly. And the fact that it stimulates collagen in the dermis is like fantastic.
Hyaluronic acid, Marisa. Hyaluronic acid.
Sorry. In the dermis. What did I say?
Collagen.
Oh, sorry. Hyaluronic acid in the dermis is just amazing. So you really, I always love it when you can reproduce your own hyaluronic acids.
Well, can I just add something to that? And I know this will be quite useful for you ladies as well. Hyaluronic acid in any skincare product doesn't get to the dermis where it's made. So what it does, it looks good because it plumps up the surface cells, but any type of hyaluronic acid is always too big to get to the dermis. So to get true hyaluronic acid created, we need to get an ingredient into the dermis to tell the cells to make it deep in the skin. So hyaluronic acid products, when they tout the fact that they're creating this long-term change in the skin, it actually doesn't. I use hyaluronic acid in my formulas, but I'm not going to lie, it's not going to get deep. It will do that lovely plumping on the surface and that youthful look, but it's not a long-term ingredient like saccharide isomerate.
And is that in your super serum as well?
The saccharide isomerate, yes it is.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry, I've got so many formulas and I have to remember what's in them.
That also stimulates hyaluronic acid in the
dermis. Yeah, that's what we need to do. So that's why I say that the super serum is like, it's got 6 highly active ingredients. And when I first released super serum, I thought I could easily say this is like 6 products. That it would be each ingredient would be worthy of a product. But rather than ask somebody to buy 6 products, I put them all into the one because they're so synergistic. Pardon the pun.
Yeah. And I love the lycopene as well. Fantastic.
Yeah. People who work in tomato farms have less incidence of sunburn because of the lycopene they're ingesting, because it helps protect them from UV damage.
That's why I heard you said previously, and that's why I'm so happy. My son, who's a redhead, eats lots of tomatoes.
Good. That's fine. And do you know what? One of the best sources of lycopene is cooked concentrated tomatoes. So tomato paste and tomato sauce, provided it hasn't got too much sugar, is a really good source of lycopene.
Fantastic. See, we get so much information from you. It's a shame we don't meet up more often. Okay, so thank you so much. Has anyone got anything else to add? Everyone's good? Okay, well, thank you so much, Terri. And thank you, Nikki, for organising this as well. And yeah, it's really, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Terri, so much. Thank you for your organising your time today as well, ladies. It's amazing to get this information directly from Terri. And of course, if you still have questions, please come back to me and Marisa and we can answer those for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my absolute pleasure. Marisa, thank you for inviting me, and it's been my pleasure meeting you all, ladies, and thank you so much for supporting Synergie too.
Thanks, Terri.
Thanks, Terri.
Yeah.
Bye.